Within minutes of opening time, Fahrenheit is ready for action, and adrenaline junkies get in line. Among them is Brendan Walker, a self-confessed thrill seeker, but one with a purpose. His aim is to decode what happens to our bodies in thrilling situations and use the data to help designers take their creations to the very next level. Today, Brendan and technician Stefan are conducting an experiment at Hershey Park. Their subject, Fahrenheit. They will test how each drop, twist, and turn affects Brendan's body. The data will offer designers an insight into the different thrills this coaster delivers and ways they can tweak and improve rides in the future. Changes in Brendan's heart rate will highlight arousal, measured by an electrocardiogram.
This lead here is connected to my side here, and one up here, so that's measuring activity across my heart.
Signs of pleasure and fear will be picked up using these electrode sensors on Brendan's face muscles, identifying smiles and frowns.
I'm just going to wipe some alcohol gel on here, which is going to take off all the dirt and grease and sweat which is built up there.
I don't like how you're saying that.
Sorry.
I thought I'd have
Sweat glands on Brendan's hands will open up during the ride, causing changes in electrical activity, another indicator of arousal.
Are actually putting electric current through Brendan's fingers, and just the changes in that electric current is what gives us a signal that tells us more about the kind of level of arousal that he's experiencing. These straps here.
A specially designed helmet will also capture every facial expression.
It's good.
Brendan is suited, booted, and ready to ride.
Let's go. You ready, Steph?
Yep. All ready to go.
Good. Excellent. We're looking down. Oh, God.
How will Brendan's body react to this?
Right down. And a twist as well.
And later, we go deep inside Niagara's fury, and riders get hot under the collar of the ferocious X2. Roller coasters are designed to stir all kinds of emotions with every twist and turn, delivering a different impact on the rider. But is it possible to measure physical reactions like fear and pleasure? Welcome to the world of Brendan Walker, one of the world's leading thrill ride experts. Brendan has come to Fahrenheit to show designers if the thrills they've promised really deliver. He's joined by thrill technician Stefan, who helped gather and decipher the data.
To be able to actually put a human guinea pig on, like me, and actually monitor the effect it's really having on a rider, it's going to give them a real insight into the effectiveness of what they've designed.
What happens to our body on a high-octane coaster? Brendan's about to find out.
So we're leaving the station now, looking around. I've got my first sight of the rise coming up against me. A sheer vertical climb, so we're trundling towards it now. It's a beautiful sunny day, so we're going up now.
He's wired up to record his heartbeat, face muscle expressions, and sweat gland response.
Going up into a vertical position, pointing directly up at the sun. Absolutely beautiful, clear day. I'm trying to look left and right. I can just about see the Hershey sign on the hill.
He's about to experience 85 seconds of extreme fear and pleasure.
We're topping out, we're topping out. God, the view's amazing. We're looking down. Oh, God. A little shimmy and a barrel roll around. Straight down, right around, and a twist as well. And straight down towards the ground. This is amazing. Oh, it's way too soon. Around on the ground, zooming up so fast. And around again. Oh my God. Oh no, it's another tight roll. And another going. God, this is amazing. And another coming round. Over. Whoa! A little bunny hop there. What's something back into point now? Oh, slowing down. So slowed right down, so we're about to come back into the station. That was absolutely amazing. Just what you need first thing in the morning. It was extreme and intense.
Brendan and Stefan are eager to see the results. They want to find out if the data validates the experiences designers set out to deliver.
We've got 7 data streams coming in. So all of these things have helped us pick out these various ride features.
Each one of these graphs shows a different level of reaction in Brendan's body. They first take a look at his arousal, which they expect to increase dramatically.
Actually starting to climb. In fact, we are climbing now. We can see here from that accelerometer. So I'm getting spikes in pleasure as well. So I'm finding something quite entertaining.
In anticipation, the heart rate reaches its peak before the action really begins.
And you've now hit a really big plateau in heart rate. It's 140, 150,
Which is around
all the way.
Brendan's has gone up from 60 to 150 beats per minute.
on the hill. We're topping out, we're topping out.
His excitement is really building, and the ride is clearly working.
God, the view's amazing. We're looking down. Ah!
So one expression, which is quite interesting there, is this big kind of open-mouthed kind of shout, scream.
Yeah. So it's almost like a scream, but of pleasure, as opposed to a scream of horror.
Yes.
Yeah.
After the drop, the heart rate levels down to a more manageable 120 for the rest of the twists and turns.
So I'm into all these amazing twists and turns and getting little spikes again. Yeah, still getting good spikes and pleasure. And you can see definitely on my face here, I'm really having a good time.
Yeah.
Next, they take a look at the facial expressions. The frown muscles are indicators of fear, while the smile muscles register pleasure.
Actually, by looking at the sensors and looking at those very particular muscle groups associated with those emotions, whether it's pleasure or fear, we can actually discern those difficult-to-read facial expressions. We can actually discern whether they are through pleasure or fear. The fear now has completely plateaued out to the bottom, almost getting, flatlining, and the heart rate's still very high.
Yeah.
Brendan starts to really enjoy himself. The heart rate has plateaued, and his sweat glands have opened up, revealing spikes of pleasure as he goes through the rolls.
This whole section is completely maxing out on both.
And now we're coming into a very tight curve, a 360 curve.
Yeah, so more pleasure here than fear.
Okay, 360 curve here.
A lot more pleasure here.
The ride is over, but Brendan's heart is still racing.
That's kind of interesting, coming back into the station.
So that was...
My heart rate's actually gone back up to 100, so there's obviously something quite arousing about seeing spectators, people I know. So there's definitely something about sort of the performance aspect of being on a ride. Get me out, please.
And now the rider stops, and your heart rate's dropped back to 90. So
and also, as you can see, as I started talking to people, the levels of pleasure started shooting up as well. So that's kind of nice. A bit of social interaction as well.
Yeah.
It's good.
Brendan and Stefan can now attempt to draw some conclusions. Right from the start, the ride is clearly creating a rich mix of emotions.
I think something we didn't expect, that after the moment of sort of fear and anxiety and that sort of period of mixed emotions as the ride's setting off. And we're feeling arousal, but also within arousal, you could also be feeling fear or pleasure at the same time. We're topping out, we're topping out. God, the view's amazing, we're looking down. That peak, I think it's a vertical drop, but in fact it's 97 degrees. And at that moment, I remember being shocked by, what I was experiencing. I didn't expect that at all. I think my fear level shoots up, but also I experienced a huge spike in pleasure as well.
The analysis proves designers succeeded in creating sensations of pleasure after the initial terrifying drop.
You can see a drop. So looking at my GSR and heart rate, I'm sort of getting into a zone of serenity. So actually, it's a period where I'm kind of reassessing, sort of rebooting, and sort of in psychology terms, that's sort of reaching a kind of baseline, normalizing myself again. So it's kind of like preparing me for the onslaught of effects.
This ride mixes fear and pleasure to create a great sense of thrill.
Yeah, I think we can safely say that the ride design has been hugely successful in creating a very experiential ride.
Yeah.
One surprising piece of data makes Brendan think engineers have missed a trick. The train comes to a dramatic break at the end of the ride. A spike in Brendan's heart rate indicates fear. Brendan thinks designers can offer riders a quick payoff of pleasure, and a music effect could do the job.
So there could be an event that should immediately follow that breaking moment. If I were revisiting this ride as a ride designer, I would be looking for opportunities at that point to inject some level of pleasure. It could be something as absurd as introducing some silly pop song or something that just makes people smile, but just a split second after that break. Absolutely awesome. Fantastic.